Not even 2 weeks in office, President Trump already scoring another victory for the U.S., this one against ISIS. He ordered a military airstrike against the terrorist group's leaders in Somalia. The president saying in part, quote, "These killers who we found hiding in caves threatened the United States and our allies. The strikes destroyed the caves they live in and killed many terrorists without in any way harming civilians." Foreign policy expert Rebecca Heinrichs joins us now. Good morning, Rebecca.
Good morning.
So I look at this and I'm reading, there are people arguing that this was more of a show of force than a strategic move. Do you have any insight as to how important this airstrike was?
Well, I think it's important because President Trump decided to announce it. He announced that the United States did this. And then he also had a threat for anybody else who would threaten the United States. "We will find you," he said, "and we will kill you." And if you remember, Joey, during 2017, when President Trump came into office the first time, he designated down the authorities to military commanders to take out ISIS. He increased aerial bombings and uses of special forces. And the effect of that was the successful destruction of the ISIS caliphate within about a year, 95% of it. And so during the Biden administration, you've seen ISIS grow back. And so now the Trump administration has to come in, reestablish itself, get back in the game, and to say the United States is not going to tolerate this, and we're going to go back to destroying terrorists that threaten Americans.
You know, I understand that ISIS as an entity has fingers all over the world, all over the region, in Africa and the Middle East, and they don't always get along. But it was ISIS-K that we're told orchestrated the attacks in 2021 at the air base. And then we have an ISIS group here in Somalia. We also have other groups in Somalia. We also have an ISIS-inspired attack in New Orleans. Is this kind of messaging that President Trump, hey, I destroyed the caliphate my first time around, I'm going to destroy all of you this time around? Are those things connected? Is this being his first military action? Is that because of what happened in New Orleans and what happened at the air base?
I think it's related, Joey, because the way it works is ISIS grows. As you said, you're always going to have terrorists, Islamic terrorists around the world. But what the United States can do is to destroy the caliphate, where they actually have essentially basing, where they grow, where they train, and then where they can recruit, because then they get stronger, and then they have more successful recruiting through the internet, because they show, would-be radicals that they're strong. And so the United States needs to destroy those physical caliphates where they exist. You mentioned in Africa, under the Biden administration, Niger and Chad were two countries where the United States was conducting counterterrorism operations, and we were kicked out under the Biden administration. And so it's harder to do. So now I think it is important for the Trump administration to say, we're going to destroy you where you are, and you're not going to have successful recruiting because we want to secure America's borders here at home and make sure Americans are safe.
Yeah, I won't lose a minute of sleep over some terrorists getting killed. I kind of like it. So, Rebecca Heinrichs, thank you so much for joining us.